Hi, a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to an evening with Rajvin and Waran. Lovely Saturday, 3rd of July, 2021. And I hope you all are enjoying this fantastic weekend. Yeah. Today, we are here gathered yet with another amazing guest, I must say. But I'll let Rajvin to do the introduction. This space, as you all know, is dedicated to Rajwin. I'm helping her in any ways possible. Rajwin was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at a very tender age, but everyone thought that she cannot do a lot of things. She did otherwise. So she have been soaring greater heights by doing a lot of massive stuff out there. She's also the laughter yoga coach. She is also the finalist for the Miss Amazing Malaysia Season 2. She's a trainer. She just got herself certified as train the trainer by HRDF Malaysia. And she needs to cover about 120 odd hours. For her to do that, she needs to do the training. Therefore, we are helping her in any ways possible. So Rajun will come shortly, and this show will be for about an hour or so. If you feel that you want to contribute to help Rajun in any ways possible, we will show the account number later. Please, any amount is all okay. If you don't, just enjoy the show. All right. Let us now welcome Rajwin Kaur Randawa. Hi there, Rajwin.
Hello, hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
How was your weekend?
It's good so far.
Very
How,
nice. Very nice. Good.
how's
Go ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Hopefully, everyone is having a better than normal Saturday as I am. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Rajwin. You want to introduce the guest?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. Let me and Warren welcome a young, uh, young, charming consultant psychiatrist who is an expert in self love. Nowadays, many of us do not know how to love ourselves. So let's hear from the expert. He's a consultant psychiatrist from Iskandar, uh, Gleneagles Medini, Iskandar Putri Johor. Let's welcome Dr. Abdul Kadir bin Abu Bakar.
Oh,
Salam
wow.
everyone.
Salam bahagia, salam sejahtera.
How are you, doctor?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's so nice to have you here on a
Thank
Saturday,
you,
doc.
thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Very nice. Thank you. Go ahead, Rajwin.
So yeah, doctor. So you are you are a prominent figure among. I've heard so much about you. I've heard a lot about what you do. So can you tell us more about yourself?
Okay, how much do you want me to spend time on? All right.
Just a brief.
As you've mentioned, I'm a psychiatrist in private practice. I've been in full-time private practice past 3 years now. Prior to that, I was in government service in various places. I've worked in government hospitals as a psychiatrist in KL, in JB, in Sarawak, in Kuching, Sarawak, back in JB, and before I retired, I was in Tampoy, and then I was in Sultan Ismail. So I've done quite around a circle, working in psychiatry in public service and now in private sector. I'm married. I got 4 children. They're all adults already with their own children. So I'm a grandfather of 15 grandchildren. My eldest is 16 years old. My eldest grandson.
Nice, very nice to hear. Um, a lot of people have been wanting to improve themselves. So, what is your how do you how do you want to advise people to improve their self-love within themselves?
Okay. Actually, this is something new about self-love, but I understand where this is coming from. Right. Self-love is uh, a spiritual philosophical concept. It's about how you appreciate yourself, how you promote your own self, health and well-being, how you view yourself, your self-confidence, and it's about taking care of yourself, but at the same time, not to sacrifice yourself to please others. One, and not to put others down to please yourself. So it's a balance that you have to play. So you must not sacrifice yourself to please others. At the same time, sacrifice others just to please yourself. So that's self-love. So, and the key in self-love is you must take action to support your physical health, your psychological health, and your spiritual health. So what should you do? Six things really, right? Six things. Number one, exercise on a regular basis. Okay, so you can talk about self-love in terms of the philosophy, which is appreciating self, taking care of self, uh, not hurting others. Okay, positive view. That's the philosophical and psychological concept. But what I would like to do, I'm more into the behavioral kind of thing. How do you transfer this into doing things? So as I said, six things. Number one, exercise. Exercise on a regular basis. You exercise. There are three types that you can do. You choose. One is the intensive type, and you only need to do this 15 minutes every day. 1-5, right? And people tell me they can't go to the gym, they can't go to the park. You don't need to go out. We have YouTube. As long as you have access to data and internet, you can do it. So YouTube have got if you can't get YouTube, you can download this in these videos and save it. You can do it offline. One is called walking at home. Okay, you just walk at home, and if you're doing brisk walking, you need to do 30 minutes every day. The other is leisure. You walk and you talk and you laugh. Right, that's about 45 minutes a day. But if you want to do more intense, the younger age like Rajvin and Waran can do the more intense type of exercise, which you need to do about 15 minutes every day. You can go to YouTube, you can type HIIT, high intensity interval training, or Tabata training. Tabata is really 4 minute segment. You do about 3 times. That was equal to your requirement, your daily requirement. What I'm trying to say, these are all SOPs, standard operating procedure. SOP is we hear every day about SOPs, isn't it? These are standard operating procedures for us to improve self-love. So that's number one. Okay. And the benefit of exercise is manifold. You get physically well, mentally well, and spiritually also you're calm yourself. So that's number one, exercise. Number two, take care of your sleep. Right. We now know the brain has got a fixed and regulated sleep-wake cycle. I repeat, a fixed and regulated sleep-wake cycle related to the sun. Not the sun is children, but the sun as in the solar thing in the center of our solar system, right? So the Earth move around the sun in a 24-hour circle. Move around its axis in a 24-hour cycle. You must follow this. We are lucky. We are in an equatorial climate, so we have got equal amount of day and night, right? The sun sets about 7 p.m. every day. The sun rises about 7 a.m. every day. The brain picks this up, right? The brain picks up the sunlight, and about 4 p.m., 5 p.m., as the sun is setting down, the brain releases a hormone called melatonin. This is a sleep hormone. It shuts down brain cells. So in about 1 hour, your brain cell starts to slow down. So you should follow it because this is a natural rhythm. So the sleep for in equatorial climate should be after 9 p.m. because that's when melatonin is at its peak. right? So about 10 p.m. you should be in bed. Okay, you should not just go to bed by 10 p.m., but 10 p.m. you should be in bed. So 9:30 you will start preparing for bed already. So that's important. The next part is more important is waking up. So we have about 8 hours of sleep, and waking up is 16 hours. So you must be very careful of waking up. So make sure you wake up before sunrise. Sunrise is 7 a.m. Wake up just before it, because there's another hormone that wakes your brain up. It's called orexin. Okay, Orexin. Warren, you like to Google? So Google this. This is something
Yes,
new,
I'm doing it as
right?
you're saying, Doctor.
Okay. That's multitasking, right? So this orexin is something that's discovered new. People call it either hypocretin or orexin. The function is increased metabolism. It is a wake up hormone. So we realize that you actually need the 16 hours of waking up. So that's number two. Take care of your sleep. So the sleep hygiene entails you to sleep at the same time every day and wake up at the same time every day, plus minus 30 minutes. Right. Number two. Number three, taking care of your diet. Right. So this is a topic that's will not make me popular, but I'm not in the business to be popular. I appreciate myself a lot, so I'm just going to tell you what I know from evidence. Okay, the Malaysian diet is an unhealthy diet. If you continue taking the Malaysian diet or the Asian diet, except Japanese diet, your brain is going to die early. Easy. You get dementia, you'll get strokes, okay, you get heart disease, and so on. So the best diet that has been researched, the Japanese diet is good, but it's not been researched except in Japan. The best research diet across board many countries is the Mediterranean diet. Right? Why Mediterranean diet? Because we can actually tell you what type of food to take. So the Mediterranean diet is taking lots of salads and vegetables, some fruits, nuts, a little bit of uh, whole grains like rice, wheat, barley, but not processed. So flour is out. And your meat comes only from chicken or fish 3 times a week. That's a Mediterranean diet. Stick to it. Right? You eat, but just eat what is recommended there. So number three. Number four is very important. Learn relaxation. You have to learn how to relax in a day. There are many methods. Simply, you can learn how to breathe, learn muscular relaxation, learn meditation, learn mindfulness. We are Eastern people. We've been brought up to pray. So incorporate prayers regularly into our lives. Right. That's number four. Number five is social connections. Social connection is having friends, having relationships, connections with people. And there are three groups of people we need to maintain connections: family, working colleagues, friends. The more members you are connected with in each group, the better your health will be. The more self love you will have. So that's number five. Number six is doing charity work. Okay, this is surprising coming from a doctor, but we realize, Warren, you can Google happiness center.
Okay.
Okay, happiness center. There is a center in the brain that seems to work actively when you are happy. So scientists have tried to find what makes you happy. One of the things that makes you happy is charity work. So charity work is either giving in kind or in service. Right. So these are the 6 steps that you must do on a regular basis, almost every day. This is part of your SOP lah, for you to have self love. All right. That's
Very,
the
very insightful, very inspiring and inspiring response. Thank you for that. Learned
thank
a
you,
lot.
Rajwin.
Um, after I noticed there is a lot of people who want to who want to increase their self-esteem. So, what is your advice for them?
Okay. So self-esteem is something similar, but this is a slightly different concept. It's about the subjective sense of self-worth and value. How you value yourself, how you worth yourself. That's self-esteem. I can tell you a lot of people have low self-esteem, right? Especially Asians. They are not used to speaking out aloud. You must not speak out of turn. We have been brought up in that manner, right? So how do you improve self-esteem? Uh, Try to feel better with yourself. So every day you get up, say, I'm good, I can do it. So that is positive self-talk. Act confidently, right? I've worked in England for 5 years. I've realized a lot of my English colleagues, they are not that clever, but they're very confident. So they cannot say no and I don't know. They will have something to answer, and because they have good command of the language, they get away with it, even though they don't say the right things, or they don't say the things that need to be said. Number two. So act confidently. Number three, trust your instincts, because your instincts seldom are wrong. Then you look, try to look at yourself differently. Okay? So just don't look yourself as a doctor, look yourself as a father, grandfather, as a community contributor, as a member of the mosque. So look at yourself in different angles. Always watch what you say. I remember when I was training I was doing my sub-specialist course in UK, and for 3 months I just kept quiet and just did things. And you know what my professor said? Good boy,
What?
because I didn't say much. All what I did was do things, and he saw what I did. I mean, I did the right things lah. So
Okay.
once after the 3 months, I'm more confident. I started to voice my view. Then I had problems because they say you're too confident. So if you just keep quiet, say limited things, right? Just say what you know, and always use the I word. I feel, I think, I want. You're on safe grounds, right? Try new things. I've been always. I have about 3 to 5 year cycle of trying to do new things. Right. I came back. First thing I did was going out of the box. I was the first doctor in Malaysia to treat patients at home, acutely ill patients. So that's one of my early hobbies, you can say lah. So now that is part and parcel of practice in almost psychiatry, every psychiatry department. Then later I started the family support group, so which I'm still now the advisor to the family support group movement. Then I started employment opportunities for the mentally ill. We call it supported employment initiative. So I'm glad to say that a lot of hospitals are following that. Now I'm into this what we call as peer support groups, or people helping people with lived experience come together and train them to do to provide services, to be advocates, and so on. So always try to do new things. So I thought when I retire, that's the end, but it doesn't seem to end. There are still new things that you can do and you must do. Now it never stops. Always feel good about yourself, right? To improve your self-esteem, always feel good about yourself. As I said, trust your instincts, and every day try to do things that is good, because that is useful and good, because you do not know you have another day, right? And as I mentioned, practice the wellness. The wellness is a mantra, it's an SOP, it's a must. Okay. And lastly is be kind to yourself. Okay? Be kind to yourself. Change the way how you think on a daily basis. Okay? Things always can be looked from a different perspective. All right.
I
Thank you.
think, Doctor, sorry, Rajwin, if I may interrupt a little bit. Doctor, we used to hear a lot of SOPs, but this time around, your SOPs are very different, which is very
Mm,
relevant, yeah, I must say. And you
mm,
always talk
mm,
about you being retired. I don't know which part of you have retired, but then It is really remarkable for you to be able to just keep fit, even though you say that you are retired. I've got some messages that's coming by, Doctor, which I
Okay.
want to show.
Uh,
I have got Siu Meigo who says, "Hi, Legion." Legion is saying, "Hello, Rajwin and Iswaran. Happy evening." And I think you know Legion because she also says, "Good evening, Doctor."
yes,
And
yes.
then,
Legion is a laughter therapy
yeah,
advocate. Ah,
you're right. You're right. And then Roxanne is saying, "Good evening to you."
hi,
Tamara
Roxanne.
Tamara Raj is saying, "Good evening to you."
Thank you.
Janko Kato is also saying, "Good evening." And Subhashini is here. She's giving some thumbs up. Razul Haq. This person is from very far away, from Bangladesh, and he's saying good evening to you.
Thank you.
And then you have got Tanam who is saying hello there. And there are so many of them saying hello. Even Tajwinder is saying great sharing. But I've got this question here, Doctor, from Kenny Ipo. Yeah, he says, "What to do with my son who is 15 years old? Uh, where he is good in speaking, but he has got, I think, lack of self-esteem. Whenever he's at the public setup, he does not open his mouth." You have got anything to say, Doctor?
Okay. He's good in speaking. He can talk.
So yeah, he can talk. He really speaks his mind. But then when it comes to a public setup, right, in front of people, he just freezes. I think that's what he's trying to
Okay.
say.
That's a form of social anxiety or social phobia. He
Okay.
can be trained. He can be desensitized to do it. I mean, you see,
Ah,
he first start to speak in front of a mirror. Then, if he's confident, if he's able to do that, speak in front of mother or people he's comfortable with. Because I think most of the time in this kind of individuals, they fear being scrutinized.
mm.
Okay? It's not the fear of speaking; it's the fear that people are going to look at them, find faults in them.
Is
Right?
it
Look at
because
the
of the
face
past
and nose,
experience?
and they see the nose. No, this is a phobia. This is a fear.
Okay. Okay.
This is a fear. So the treatment, the way to go about it is to desensitize. So give him the experience and exposure. If it's overwhelming, then they can get some help psychologically.
Okay. So you're saying
Okay,
desensitize, yeah?
desensitize, slow and
Okay. All right.
steady, expose him to, because it's the fear of being scrutinized really. That is
Okay.
in
All
public,
right.
so he's afraid that people are looking at him and trying to find fault. That is in his mind. That's why he
Ah,
freezes. Ah.
okay. All right. Thanks, Doc. Rajvin, go ahead. All yours.
Getting back to the question, Doctor, um, how what is your advice for people who want to be confident? As you know, these days people lack of confidence, right? So
Uh-huh.
how do you advise people who want to increase their self confidence? Is it the same as self esteem that you mentioned just now?
Something similar, but for self-confidence, I would advise a few things. Number one, keep having positive self-talk. Okay, words like encouraging yourself. I can do it. I'm able to do it. So that's positive self-talk. Number two, you identify what you are good in and focus on that. Your strength. Okay, if your strength is a language, for example, then write a text and focus on that language. Right. uh, and identify your weaknesses and try to decrease it. Okay, if you have, for example, some of my colleagues have issues like talking in public, so I will tell them prepare a text and do not deviate from the text. My first talk that I gave, scientific talk, was the second one. Okay, the first one was I was first year training. There was a case presentation. I did fine because I knew no one else knew about the case, about the first AIDS mental AIDS dementia case. So I'm the one who has read more. The next one was an international symposium, and I was lucky. One of the professors who knew me saw me frightened. Say, why are you scared of? So this is my first international speech. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can talk, but I don't know how to answer questions. I'm scared answering questions. So he gave me a very useful tip, which I use until today. So he said, number one, do not look at the audiences because eye contact makes you more scared. So you look up as if you're looking at the audience, but you're looking beyond. Okay, then that's fine. I said, I can always look at the text. Okay, look at the text. But at the end of your talk, there'll be a question and answer session. At that time, I was very junior. I can answer some. I will answer. I'll be able to answer those questions related to the topic. Uh, then he gave me a. You see, you only say one thing. One, you say three things. One of three things. One, because you are the only one who knows the subject matter, you agree with him 100%. Okay? Say, yes, I agree with you. You are absolutely correct. Number two, you act very confident and you disagree with him. No, you are wrong. I disagree with you. And number three, you take the middle path. Well, there are many ways to think about it. It's either here or there. Thank you very much. Okay. So lo and behold, I finished the presentation very well. And one person had to stand up. And this person is the one that I feared most because I quoted his paper about 5 times. Because he did the same study in a different manner. So he asked me a 10-minute lecture and he asked me about my paper. Then I said, Prof, you are absolutely right, Prof. And I stopped without further comment. And after that, he came, why do you say that? I said, Prof, you are the world expert. Who am I to counter you? So I saved myself that day. Right. So that's identifying your strength and then focusing on your strength and identifying your weaknesses and decreasing it. Learn to accept compliments. Right. Number one, and keep having affirmations. Right. That's the last one. All right, Rajvin, does that answer you?
Yes. Very interesting. Very interesting. I feel that you have a lot. You have portrayed self-love a lot in your medical profession. So me and Warren and the audiences here would like to know, how do you portray self-love as in your medical profession as a psychiatrist? How do you portray
Difficult.
self-love?
How do you portray self-love of myself or for patients?
For both.
One, number one, if it's wellness, healthy lifestyle, I share with patients what I do. Yeah. Number two, uh, is about acting confident that you know what you're doing. Number three, focus on your strength. What is it that you're good in, right? And number four, the last one is if you do not know, be honest with the patient. Okay? So in private practice, it's very important that you say, all right, this is my limitation. If you need certain things, I may have to refer you to someone else. Always know that, especially in private. In government setting, because sometimes when I first started working in government service, I'm one of two psychiatrists in the whole state. So you've got no choice but to offer the treatment. So what we do for this for self-love in our daily practice is we tell the patient that this is the best treatment that we can offer at the particular time. So the self-love is expressed in the fact that number one, you promote best practices. Number two, you promote evidence-based practices, so that with limited resources, with limited facilities, you promote what you can give to your best ability to your patients. That's how every day we project self-love in our practice.
Doctor, if I may, Rajwin, I have got these two questions. If I may, Doctor.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
go on.
Okay, question one. Tila Jodi asked this question. Good evening. I have a student who is having attitude problems such as showing very bad tantrum if things doesn't follow his way. He likes to scream and shout at the parents. The parents and me had tried many ways but failed. The parent needs some guides to overcome this problem. Any suggestions, doctor?
How
He
old
is
is he?
10 years old. 10 years old.
Huh? 10 years old, young. So he may have emotional issues. I suggest that the parents bring him to see a doctor to sort out
Okay.
whether what are the emotional issues there.
What do you
That's
mean by
temporary.
emotional issues?
Emotional means he may have some depression, some issues with anxiety. There might be issues with parenting itself.
So, are you saying, doctor, that even 10 years old, you can go through depression and anxiety?
Oh yes, yes, yes. You can go to. I mean, even younger than that. I have seen the youngest I've seen who can express emotions about 7 years old.
Okay. And then, is it because of what? Genetics or their past experiences, family experience? What is it
I
more,
think
doctor?
I think it's a parenting. Most of the
Okay.
time, it's a parenting. Most of the time. Nowadays,
Okay.
it's about use of gadgets,
Okay.
handphone use.
The
Yeah,
gadgets, yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
Gadget
So,
is a substitute parenting. So instead of having one-to-one time, showing respect to the child, showing the child is safe, guiding and modeling the child, the parenting is with handphone. So when
okay.
you try to control, this may be what happens, but I can't be very sure about it. So that's why I'm suggesting this sounds like an emotional issue. There are many reasons to it. Let's bring this child to a doctor and see what the doctor says.
Okay, so Tila, Jodi, please ask the parents to bring this boy to the nearest psychiatrist so that they can
Yeah,
really do some research on him. Yeah. So,
correct.
doctor, another
They can assess
question.
him and give
Another question.
some directions.
Okay, good, good. Doctor, another case is this is a 17-year-old boy who will be sitting for
17.
examination. Yeah, 17. He's so they are twins. So you have got
Ah,
one guy who like very much studious. He studies and then he gets good score, and the other boy is it's the total opposite. So he hangs out very late at night. Only at 11, 12 p.m. A.m. that he goes out and he bees with his friend, and then he comes back at about 6 a.m. and the mother is very worried because she have tried many ways, but the child just do not want to. So this boy is looking at the father and the mother like his enemy. What did you think this case is, doctor?
well, very good questions. The SPM exam.
Okay, Dr. Kadir just fell off from the screen because I think he is having some connection issues. Keep the questions coming. We shall wait for Dr. Kadir to join us again. Yeah, he's just here.
I don't know
All
what
right,
happened.
doctor.
I got lost. Ah.
It's
All
okay.
right, very good question.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
this boy sounds like oppositional defiant. That means he's just defying his parental issues. 17 is a little bit late for that, right?
Okay.
Uh, and his habits is not correct. Okay, come back 6 a.m. So that means there are issues of his upbringing. So I would suggest again in this case, instead of giving steps and directions of what to do, it's a little bit late because it's 17. The XPM will be very soon, a few months. So let him see a doctor.
Okay. Okay. And a
Okay,
doctor can actually help. Yeah.
can help many ways. If he's got depression, can treat the depression. If it's just
Okay.
behavioral, can give some tips how to address the behavior. Basically, any children, okay, children means until the age of 25, anyone until the age needs three things, three steps, three things in their life. Number one,
Okay.
they need sleep. They need to sleep more than adults. So their sleep is 9 to 10 hours.
Okay.
Okay. So number one. Number two, they need to be physically active. Okay.
Okay.
More than 2 hours a day. They need to run around now, basically.
Okay.
Climb trees, kick the ball, or just basically uh, be children, be physically active. Right.
Yes.
And lastly, avoid the use of gadgets.
Hmm.
Right? Avoid the
Okay.
use of gadgets except for online learning. Right?
Okay.
Online learning is something new. WHO recognizes that it is not healthy.
Okay.
So they are recommending that children go back to school so that they at least have uh, they're physically active for about 2 hours in the school, and then during school time they don't have access to any gadgets.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
gadget use is less. Gadget use for games, for social media should be less than 1 hour a day. So I suspect this boy has been given freedom to use gadgets without any restrictions.
Okay. Okay. I think
And
this
that's
is
the
the
consequence.
I think this is the problem a lot of parents are going through now,
A lot,
doctor, because
a lot, a
yeah,
lot.
because gadget yeah, can be misused. Yeah, the whole world is right in front of you, and we don't know what are the information which are good information or not good information,
Not
and the
can be
children
misused.
don't know.
It's regularly being misused.
Exactly, exactly. Thanks, doctor.
I've seen
Over to you.
11-year-old. I've seen 11-year-old who controls the mother with gadget. So he
Yes.
gambles online, uses the mother's credit card. Now he pays the mother back because he's regular
Ah,
winner with, with online gaming.
oh, I see. See, there
Okay.
you go. Yeah,
Uh,
must be very careful. So, parents out there, remember if you have got your children with gadgets, be very careful. Keep the questions coming. I've got a lot of questions coming, but I'll pass it to Rajwin first. If you have got an amount to transfer to help Rajwin in any ways possible, this is the account number. Again, you don't need to if you don't want to. Keep enjoying the show. But if you feel that you want to help in any ways possible, this is the number. Rajwin, over to you, Rajwin.
I feel that a lot of people want to give up hope. I've seen a lot of um, I've seen a lot of acquaintances want to give up hope during this pandemic because
apa jadi?
they
Dia
are
plaster.
actually
Dia plaster.
about frustrated about their frustrated about their life, and they don't know what to do. So what is your advice for people like that?
Right. But hopelessness is a key feature in people who are depressed. So my first response will be that you get help for your depression, right? But sometimes you can also help yourself. How? Number one, you believe that you can achieve your goals, reflect on your success, prayers, okay, and believe in uncertainty. Uncertainty principle is there, it's useful. Have a positive focus, be creative, use lots of humor, and garner support as much as you can. The more support you have, the better you'll be. But I have to be to put caution here. Hopelessness is a serious uh, frame of mind that should not happen. If it's persistent, then it needs to be corrected. That means you need to get help for it. Okay, Rajit.
Yeah, you mentioned humor uh, for the people who not to give up hope. So I mean, how do you incorporate laughter into self love then?
Okay, as I've mentioned just now, humor is a very important aspect in self love. So I regularly crack jokes myself. You know, I'm known as a joker before. Uh, this late in the evening, I don't have active jokes. If it's earlier, then I have a lot of jokes. Right. Uh, so I believe in laughter. In fact, when I was in the hospital Permai, we introduced laughter therapy as part of our rehabilitation program. So Esther and Lee Jean will come once a week to introduce laughter therapy to my patients. And we've had therapists who are trained in laughter therapy. So yes, laughter therapy is an important part of introducing humor into our daily lives.
Yes.
Okay. If I may, Rajwin, I've got this couple of messages that's coming by. Susan says, need sleep, physical active, avoid use of gadget. Online should be fine, important for all the students. Yes, that's exactly what
Okay.
you have mentioned. She have put it there. And also, I have got this question, Doctor. With the many news that we see now, we have got a lot of suicidal cases,
Mm.
and what I see is it is increasing, doctor. I
Yes.
want to know what's happening, what is going wrong, and what do we need now, doctor?
Well, nothing is going wrong. Is this MCO thing? It's a lot of because the social determinants of unhealthy mental health, poverty, social isolation, unemployment, trauma within the family, trauma like violence in the family. All these will increase uh, suicidal ideation, suicidal attempts. Right. The at the national level, there was a national suicide prevention strategy, but it's on paper.
Okay.
Right? It's not being implemented. As usual, in Malaysia, we always delay. I'm quite happy the DG finally says mental health will be put on priority.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been there from 2015, the National Suicide Prevention Strategy, but has not been implemented fully. But
Mm-hmm.
fortunately, we've got NGOs like Befrienders, right, the Good Samaritans, who offer online, who offer telephone services for
Okay.
people who wants to call. But these are people who wants to call. You have to go beyond that. We know, for example, 6 months before you attempt the suicide, uh, the people will see a doctor for some health issues. But the doctor being busy, not able to explore whether there's any depression or not, any
Ah.
any mental health issues that arise. Because if these mental issues goes unattended, goes unrecognized, it just builds up, and then the culmination is a suicide attempt.
I
And
see.
sometimes the suicide attempt is a serious one; it ends up in death. Then it becomes a suicide, right? But most of the time, the suicide is an attempt, but the method is a dangerous method. Right? For example, in Cameron Highlands, there was a study. When you did the study, when they did a study after the death, they found out majority of the individuals who died were actually crying for help. They wanted
Mm.
some change in their lives, but the method they chose was a dangerous method. They drank paraquat, which almost always end up in death. Right.
Okay.
Now the method they choose is jumping from a building because buildings are high enough. During the 1970s, we didn't have that many high buildings. Now
Mm.
everywhere there's a high rise. Okay, and that's the most common method. So if they are
Yeah.
desperate, they want a solution, so they jump down. Uh, but the key is that there are number one, you identify that the people at risk. Okay, so the unemployed, the drug addicts, the single mother, the students who have problems. These are all people at risk. Target them with help. Okay, number
Mm.
two, have a lot of helplines that can offer them on phone services. Okay, and it has to be free. When you call that particular number, immediately it's a toll-free number rather than you have to pay for that number. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the number is provided by NGOs. The NGOs pay the line. Uh, that number two. Number three, like I mentioned, the National Suicide Prevention Strategy, we cut across board. Not only Ministry of Health, Ministry of Youth, the Labor, okay, because unemployed individuals are high risk.
Hmm.
Young mothers are at a high risk. Youth and adolescents are at high risk. Substance abusers are at high risk. So target those groups. And now in Malaysia, like in Japan, in Korea, the exams, the major exam before you go into university, those people are at high risk as well. Because for us, last time UPSR seems to be make or break because it will stream you into good schools and not and average schools. Now is
Yeah.
but SPM is almost always the cruncher because it determines you to go to further studies. So that's when the students get very stressed because of that. So target those groups, teach teachers, teach volunteers what to do. It's not that difficult. It's not easy, but it's not that difficult.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Doctor Rajvin. Go
You,
ahead.
any final words for the audience out here, out there?
Okay, I think thank you very much, Rajwin, for organizing this. A good topic on self love and self esteem and self confidence. So I've given tips on how to increase that. It's more of things that you do, right? Things not things in the mind that you need to change, but things that you do on the daily that will eventually change the way you think, right? So incorporate this as part of it. I repeat, so exercise regularly, take care of your sleep, take care of your diet, learn how to relax, and use our Eastern time honored Eastern methods of prayers, meditation, maintain connections, okay, and lastly, charity. I want to end today by getting some pahla. Pahla is getting some rewards from heaven. So I want to quote a saying by Prophet Muhammad. Okay, this is his advice given when he migrated from Mecca to Medina. Okay, so he came as a prophet, as someone who was awaited, a king-like person, but no money with him, because he left Mecca sehelai sepinggang with just the clothes on his back. So the people gathered around him and said, "Dear sir, what is the advice you're going to give to us?" So he gave four advice, which is relevant for self-love. Number one, spread peace. Okay. Number two, feed the poor. Okay. Number three, he said maintain silaturahim. That means maintain social connections. Number four, wake up at night to pray. This is the road to heaven.
Hmm.
So I'll leave you with that. So remember these four advice. It is relevant today. Spread peace. Be kind to everybody. Number two, feed the needy. Now it's important. You don't need a white flag. You know who they are. So send a packet of rice, a packet of rice, some bread. I had a Pakistani man who came to my house. He asked for some money to buy flour. So I gave him to buy one guni. And because, Pakistani being Pakistani, say, can you give me four gunis? So he want four gunis. One guni of flour lasts him one week. Four gunis, that means 1 month he doesn't have to go out. They just eat their chapati every day. If you have, you give. Don't argue, right?
Yeah.
So feed the poor and needy. Okay. Third is social connections. Keep in touch with friends, with families. And last is individual. For you to become. So wake up at night to pray because there's a time nobody is disturbing you. Perfect time. And the timing is about 4 to 5 a.m. This is my personal experience. Okay. Those are
Thank
my
you,
last
Doctor.
words. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Now we have come to the interesting part of the evening, where I will be sharing a poem, and
Okay.
the poem goes like this. Once upon a time, when I was haunted with stuff that was haunting my mind, um, I I looked I looked for I looked for inner peace, inner peace and calmness. I found the gift of laughter. I found the gift of laughter, and that I I found the gift of laughter, and the gift of that was called the gift of the gift of the gift of self love and laughter. Yeah, and
All right. Very nice. Rajwin, anything else that you have? I think Doctor is he's again out from the show. Oh, there you go. He's here.
I should repeat the poem again.
Pass it.
Okay. Once I was running away from from the from the things that haunted me, searching for that one thing that would make me happy. And I found that inner peace and feeling of calmness, despite all the anxiety of the person I was becoming and I have yet to be. I found the gift of laughter and laughter yoga. I found the
Very
gift of love and laughter yoga. So I would like to end with this um, tips for uh, tips for audience, how I practice, how I came out of this anxiety problem. I believe as a finalist for Miss Amazing Malaysia Season 2, I believe that self-love comes from being the best version of yourself. So here are how self-love is portrayed in my life. I believe I I practice gratitude. Start by taking a break whenever I need to, smiling and laughing. I would like to end. I would like to end an evening with Rajvin and Warren, 10th July, with a laugh, with a self-love laughter. When was the last time, ladies and gentlemen, you ever hugged yourself? So hug yourself and go ha 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 ha
Ha ha ha
Ah.
ha.
ha. Yay! Very good,
Thank you,
very
thank
good.
you. Take care.
Yay!
Very good, very good, very good.
So
Yeah.
that's the end of my sharing today. And
Thank
my
you.
final advice is for everyone to be the best version of themselves. In order
Very good.
to love yourself, you you must love yourself first before you love others.
Mm-hmm.
Then portray portray gratitude. That is what I believe in. So thank
Very
you
good.
for sharing. See you all
Thank
next
you.
week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. See you all next week. Same time, same place. Bye bye for now.
All
Bye
right. Thank
bye.
you so much, Rajvin. Thank you so much, Doctor. I've been getting a
Thank
lot
you.
of comments and questions. Thank you so much for your time. We love you. Let's love each other. Yeah. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Rajvin.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye bye to all.
Bye bye, Doc. See ya.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.